Hi friends, hey, I am back for another little mental health tip as we honor this week of suicide prevention and awareness. And like I said yesterday and the day before, you can totally go read my full story if you're interested, like where I'm coming from. There's always a link in my profile in the comments of the video, or the description, I mean. Today, I'm just going to try to be short and quick. I'm not always good at that. But I thought that I would talk about today something that kind of occurred to me yesterday when I was feeling like just way better after things being a little bit dicey for a bit. And I just was thinking about how true it is and how much I know that it's true, that things always are the very darkest before they get better. And maybe that's because things are always like they get darker and darker and then they get better. But I more mean that what I'm realizing as I pay attention to my cycles and my moods and my energies and the way life kind of seems to follow a pattern is that I'm noticing that oftentimes when I get to that point where I just start to feel like this is not going to do, this is too much, I can't take it, that usually that is what happens right before there's a slight break, there's a slight light before things start to just, before the sun comes up and things start to just evolve into something better. And the tip that is connected to that is that one thing that I think it's very important that we do as just human people walking around on, planet Earth trying to survive is that we start paying more attention. We pay attention to what is happening for us, how things get hard and how things get easier. We start to see our cycles and we start to realize the way that it works, because the beauty of that is after paying attention now for 10 years to what's happening in my brain, after paying really close attention to that, I've realized that I have a little bit of a cycle that I go through, and I actually use a tracker. It's called Dailyo, and I track my mood every day. It gives me little words like rad, good, bad, meh, and it's silly and it's simple, but I can see when I look back, not necessarily like a time frame for me, because it doesn't seem to do that yet that I can tell, but it seems to do a cycle where things get worse and then they get better. And I'm starting to be able to see like, oh, this is that point in my own personal journey, my own personal cycle, where I start to feel overtired. This is the point in my cycle where I start to feel really, 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 really busy, which usually comes right before overtired, which usually comes right before feeling a little bit depressed. Starting to recognize those things, write those things down and pay attention to them has helped me to understand where I'm at any given time. And it helps me to catch things sooner, because before I was putting that kind of awareness and energy into what my mood was doing, it always felt like it took me by surprise, and it always felt so big and out of control and unpredictable. And now I can see the ways that I can catch it sooner, that I can have a little bit of control. I'm not entirely in control of my moods, and who is? Nobody is. But I don't get as freaked out because I have learned the ways that my brain does things, and I've learned that it gets through it. And every time things get really hard, I try to remember that I know that things get better. Like I know that things get really dark. It's actually just like the cycles of the planet or the day. Like, I know that things get really dark, but I know that they always get better because I've seen it historically happen over and over and over again. And so now when things get hard, every time that things do get hard, it's actually easier than it was the time before because I have more evidence in my belt. I have more personal history showing me how things always come around. And that doesn't mean, let me be clear, that doesn't mean that I ignore how I'm doing, or I just say, oh, it's going to go away and I don't pay attention, or that I don't ask for help and I don't look for ways to get the things I need. That's not what I'm talking about, because the cycle is going to keep getting worse if I don't, find the ways to work out of the cycle. And I know what that is for me. I know that's appointments with my therapist and rest and break from work and time with people I love. I know the things that work for me because I've been paying attention, and all of that goes together into this package, this bundle of that awareness around how my brain works and how my energies flow, which sounds really woo-woo, and I don't mean it woo-woo, although it would work that way. But awareness around those things have empowered me to be able to function better in the world and to be able to feel more at ease when things are hard. And so to you, I would say, if you're a person that's really fresh in your process and you don't actually know what happens next because you haven't gone through this before, then you especially have to be paying attention and you have to be asking for help so people can kind of come alongside you as you're kind of facing the unpredictable. And if you're a person that has faced hardship before, then look back and think back to what has happened in the past and the way it has worked, and use that information to make sure that you're meeting your own needs and to make sure that you're not piling up panic on top of panic because you're like, I don't know what's going to happen. Try to pay attention and try to use that information to help you feel more in control. And the more that you do that, the more that you live it out, 10 years later, you're going to understand the way that your brain works and the way that things happen for you in a way that you never would have had you not been a person that had this struggle, did the work, and learned about yourself on that level. It's really, really valuable, and it's really empowering, actually. And so that is my tip for today, is that you pay attention to the way that your brain works and to your own personal cycles, and that you remember the times that it's gotten dark and then it's gotten light again. And if you have no experience in that, that you reach out for help and you get people on your side, you get allies, you get friends, you get family, you get doctors that can help you wait out this dark period so that you can learn and grow and become a person that knows how to handle those periods in the future. Because you can. All right, that's what I have for you. And I just want to send love to everybody that's watching this. I hope that you know how important you are to this world, how loved you are, and how much hope there is for whatever's coming next. So much hope. Okay.